Dr. Zhong, the director of VNIO, and also Dr. Thon, our host, and also director of Ho Chi Minh City Eye Hospital. And colleagues, today is my great honor to be able to stand here to present to the great Vietnamese ophthalmologist. I was told to speak in English. I wish I could speak Vietnamese, but unfortunately, probably next time I'll try in the next visit. I see a lot of laughing face, and now I can tell, I think majority of you will understand English quite well. Good. So today I'm going to walk you through a little bit a new technology we call red light therapy, or the official name is low repeated, low level red light therapy. There's a new modality for myopia control. So before everything, I got to declare I do have conflict of interest about this technology. We are the patent holder of the technology, and also I hold directorship in two companies that is manufacturer producing the device. So there will be some bias in my presentation, but I'm happy to answer your questions, and I try my best to summarize the evidence and present it to you. So when we say red light, now I hope it's better. Is it better now? Yes, it's better. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, now it's better. So when we talk about red light therapy, we got to understand what technology we are talking about. So as you can see from the screen, the technology is a home use device. So basically, the parents and the children need to bring these devices and use it at home. So in order to enable the device to use at home, the device is actually three components. One is the laser. This is a laser emitting system that can emit the red light or red laser. And the second one is that you can see there's a small computer right here. So this small computer is able to go on to internet. So all the users are given a username and password. With the username and password in the internet, the user got to log on the back-end system. When the username and password is matched with the back-end system, you are allowed to turn on the light. So the light, there's a protocol for the light or for the laser emission of twice a day, 3 minutes per session. So this is controlled by the system. It's not controlled by the user. The user cannot control the light on and light off, because they give it, the user is actually given the password, the username and password. So with this mechanism, we are able to maximize the compliance of the protocol. And also, we are able to observe at the back end how many times the children, they're using the red light. Because whenever they log on, we can see a record in the back end system, okay? Two purposes. One is control the protocol being adopted at home, making sure this can be home use device. Second, and then we can monitor the compliance, how many times you use the red light. So this is how a red light looks like. This is one of my research fellows in Australia. So so she used the red light. They got to adjust a little bit the pupil distance, and then so that it makes sure the red light can completely emit on the back of the eye or the fundus. So the treatment will last about 3 minutes. Normally you pay a song. Then after these 3 minutes song, the treatment finish. And also the children or the child, they link this treatment with the brushing teeth. Because when you wake up, you brush your teeth. Before go to bed, brush your teeth. So before and after brushing teeth, you can do the red light. So with that, we can make sure the children, they use it twice a day. We managed to publish the first randomized control trial. So this is a randomized control trial published at the end of 2021, 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. Published. This is it's a multi-center trial published in ophthalmology. So what the clinical trial told us, we choose to use axial length or axial elongation as a primary outcome. In comparison with no treatment, single visual spectacle, no treatment, the red light is able to achieve 70% control on the axial elongation. Interestingly, if you look at the treatment efficacy and the association with the baseline refraction, the higher degree of your baseline refraction, you got a better treatment because you can see you compare the control and the treatment. So higher degree of myopia, you got greater control. This is not similar to other treatment modality because other treatment modality, more progressive myopia normally got worse or less treatment efficacy. But in retina it's the opposite. In fact, another independent study in Shanghai, they demonstrated in a high myopia children, the red light is able to achieve more than 100% control, which means 95% of the children, of the high myopia children, they achieve axial shortening in the red light treatment. Spherical equivalent basically tell us very similar story. So this is the spherical equivalent on the changes on the control arm. So this is in the intervention arm. So in the red light treatment, it controls around 80% of the spherical equivalent progression. And again, it's a higher degree of myopia, you got greater treatment efficacy or benefit. So this is really in a human clinical trial or human myopia control trial. It's the first time we observe axial shortening. We are talking about axial shortening greater than 0.05 millimeter. So it's not just less than 0, it's greater than axial shortening greater than 0.05 millimeter beyond the measurement error. So when the first time we report this axial shortening, nobody believed it because we were taught myopia is irreversible. If you've got an eye elongated, there's no way you can have a shorten, that the axial length becomes shortening. So but this is a perfect example, demonstrate a significant proportion of children actually got axial shortening. As what I just told you, if you are high myopia children, you have 95% chance have a much greater axial shortening. We also invite the children come back on the 24 month, and then remember we run the clinical trial in 1 year, so some of the children, they stop the treatment. So we do observe some rebound. If you stop the treatment, in comparison with the control arm, there's some rebound effect. So this suggesting that we should not stop the treatment abruptly. Certainly, we've got to follow a tempering protocol, making sure to minimize the rebound effect. Interestingly, the axial length or the efficacy of the myopia control, it works equally or even better in the European eye. So this is a non-Chinese, this clinical trial conducted in Australia. It demonstrates that actually the Australian children got substantial axial shortening with the red light. And this is, they observe even much stronger treatment benefit in comparison with the Chinese children. European children, stronger treatment benefit with the red light. So I think a lot of papers have been published, not just by our group, a lot of papers published by many other groups. I think more than 20 clinical trials have been conducted all over the world. They consistently report a strong efficacy, or probably red light is the strongest, with the treatment modality, the strongest efficacy. No question. People are not questioning about efficacy anymore. It looks like people are convinced this is effective. But then people start to question the safety. Because when you talk about using a laser completely straight on the retina or the eye or the bed of the eye as a way to treat eye diseases, people think, are you crazy? Why you use laser repeatedly on the retina to treat diseases? So now I try to explain to you how this is different with your general norm, your knowledge. The laser we adopt is created by laser diode. It's 650 millimeter. It's a visible red light. But then this visible red light through a 4 millimeter pupil size, the energy is 0.29 milliwatt, 0.29. So this 0.29 milliwatt is far below a laser. When we talk about laser treatment, photocoagulation in diabetic retinopathy, we're talking about a couple hundred or even thousands of milliwatt. So this is only 0.29. There's no thermal effects on the retina. It works not because of the thermal, it's not because of burning or stimulating burning the retina. And then also there's an opportunity that because of clinical, the FDA, United States Food and Drug Administration, FDA clinical trial is on, we are planning. When we plan this, before you initiate an FDA clinical trial, you have to complete a laser safety testing. So this is laser safety testing on the ANSI testing. The report conclude that this is a Group 1 instrument, suggesting this low-level laser device is safe to use as a treatment modality, based on a lot of parameters that I'm not going to go through the details. This is our testing result. And then also, as what I explained to you, is a home use device. We don't have a button to turn the light on, turn the light off. We use internet. We use a system. You have to access internet. You have to use a username and password to turn the light on, and then by protocol, you automatically turn the light off after 3 minutes. And then also, the system only allows you to do twice a day, not unlimitedly. The protocol is highly regulated by the system like this. And also the device is built with a built-in energy monitoring. You see this is an energy monitoring. So at the back end, we understand every single device is being used. What's the energy? Does there any energy spike like this? And then we're going to make sure this is not happening. And then this is documented at the back end. Okay. And the device has been approved. This is approval from a CE mark. CE mark is a regulatory body in Europe. With the CE mark approval, the device is able to sell in all Europe. And also, the device also received approval in United Kingdom, in Australia, in New Zealand. I think about 3 to 4 months ago, I'm not sure, maybe 6 months, we also have approval in Vietnam as well. So this is an approval product in Vietnam. And then there's many clinical studies. This is a meta-analysis or systemic review published in 2023. 2 years ago, there are already so many studies published, completed and published. They all suggesting there's no side effect. So this is consistently reported in many clinical trials. And then there's a study run multifocal ERG. They proved that the multifocal ERG actually there's no compromise on the photoreceptor response because of the N wave, and then actually there's an improvement on the P wave, suggesting the red light. As we remember, sometimes we use red light for amblyopia treatment many years ago. With the red light, is able to improve the transduction of the bipolar cell function on the retina, and then there's no damage on the photoreceptor. But there's one side effect case report in JAMA Ophthalmology, I think it's 2 years ago, in 2023. In this patient, we report a discontinuation of the ISOS band. If you're a retina specialist, you understand these changes on the retina indicating this is an outer segment of the photoreceptor. This is where they have a lot of mitochondrial oxidative response is located here. So in this patient, we observe a discontinuation and also a compromise on the visual acuity as well. So with this, but the patients is this changes, its damage is reversible. After you stop the treatment for 3 months, and then the discontinuation of ISOS completely restore, recover like this. So this is after stopping the treatment for 3 months, and then you see this discontinuation disappear. And also, what interestingly is, if you look at the retinal changes, like when the problem occurs, you see there's no visibility on the choroid. There's no choroid showing on the OCT scan. But then after you stop the treatment, hey, all of a sudden we see the choroid now. And therefore, Professor Kishi, a Japanese retina light injury specialist, she told us this is probably a preclinical Stargardt disease, because with the light stimulation, it will damage the retinoid circulation, and therefore create a lot of lipofuscin deposition of the RPE layer that block the light travel through the retina, travel through the RPE, and therefore when the problem comes, and then you cannot see the choroid, but when the problem resolves, you see the choroid again. So this, in another word, this patient, unfortunately, may be a congenital macular problem, macular disease, like for example, preclinical Stargardt. That explains why this complication or side effect is so uncommon in the real world. Because in the real world, you never seen patients with this side effect that much, very rarely. So then, based on all this evidence, or more evidence, like the cone cell density and all this, I would recommend document the retina changes before treatment. So for any patients coming, at the moment this become a routine, for example in China, in Hong Kong, and in other parts of the world, and in Australia. So when the patient come and before they commence the laser or the low-level laser treatment, so we have to take a retina fundus photo and OCT scan. And then we ask the parents to monitor visual acuity at home. Maybe they just buy a visual acuity chart, put it on wall at home, so they can monitor the visual acuity changes. And then there's some super responder. For example, the girl I just mentioned, the patient I just mentioned, she's a super responder because she got a prolonged after image. After image is indicating your photoreceptor is very sensitive to light. Even when you turn off the light, you still see the light. So this is after image. So this super responder, it's very important to identify them by asking them how long is the after image when you adopt the red light. And again, there's plenty of evidence suggesting the efficacy of the red light. And then there's some evidence suggesting there might be side effect, but we need to monitor the OCT changes over time. But then what I try to propose is that using red light is very similar to performing cataract surgery. Before you can perform a cataract surgery, you've got to talk to the patient, you've got to explain to them that after cataract surgery, you have an 80% chance to have improved visual acuity to a bit closer to 20/20, okay? Good. Visual acuity will be improved. But then you will also have a chance, 1 to 4% chance to have a posterior capsular rupture. You also have a 1 to 4% of the chance, according to literature, then you will have some problem, a side effect. So red light is the same, similar to many other treatments. There's no perfect treatment. In this world, there's no treatment, super efficacy, no risk. Red light is very similar to many other diseases, many other treatment modality. There's a potential side effect, but then in some patients, for example, you got a 6-7 years old, high myopia, 6-7 years old, -5 or -8 diopters myopia. If you don't initiate treatment or if you don't initiate effective treatment, eventually it will become a -20 or -15 diopters when the child reaching 18 years old. So in this case, the treatment benefit is far more than the potential harm. So again, whenever you try to adopt red light, consider the benefit and risk ratio and explain this properly to your patient. that pretty much cover all I want to say about red light for tonight, for today. Thank you very much.
Sau khi trình bày hai bài, chúng ta sẽ tới phần thảo luận. So, we invite Dr. Mingguang He to continue with the next PowerPoint, please. Thank you.
Sorry for occupying too much of your time. I hope you enjoy what we have been discussing about. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so after the talk, I will have some Q&A session as well. So today, I just trying to walk you through a little bit our work on adopting artificial intelligence in ophthalmology. I just want will be 10 to 15 minutes time discussion, presentation. So again, there's a good conflict of interest because when I work in Australia, then there's a lot of clinicians. The clinicians, they have a lot of some patent, and then they have their own products, they have their own company. So this is whenever you declare conflict of interest, there's a bad conflict of interest, and then there's a good conflict of interest. We also have some conflict of interest about this because this is about artificial intelligence, and then we have two company established. One is called Obtain, another one is iTelligence. The iTelligence has been acquired by a US company, so now it become a New York-based international company.